What's up, everyone? Today we're going to be going over Coco. I'm going to put a quick guide on the screen right here. As you can see, this is Mr. Lord Garbelius' guide. I know him from Reddit. He's a fantastic content creator. If you have a chance, go check it out. He's got lots of guides. I really look at them and I really enjoy everything he's putting out there. I'll put a link down in the description on how you can support him and get access to more of his guides. But this is for those that don't want to watch the video, maybe just want to get a quick look. Without any further ado though, I'll go into Coco, what I like about her, how I utilize her, and yeah, discuss it. So, let's get started. First off, we got Coco's trait, Breakfast Happiness. And so, Coco possesses block. Her HP is increased by 20%. At the start of each round, she grants breakfast to 2 allies, the lowest HP percentage within 2 tiles of herself. After breakfast or bento effect is triggered, the target has a 30% chance to gain happiness. And so, as you can see, block 50% chance to face enemies, we all have seen that 100 times. Breakfast, at the start of the turn, recovers 15% HP and dispels 1 debuff. Really good. Bento, at the start of the turn, recovers 25% HP and dispels 2 debuffs. And then Happiness, which is a buff for all skills, reduces the energy consumption by 1 after use. Cooldown is reduced by 1 turn. Removed after any actions are taken. Really good buff. This is the core of her mechanic, and let me tell you, if you get her up to 5 stars, you get happiness 100% of the time, and she is broken. I'll show you that right here. My Coco's a 4-star. Very soon I'm going to have her 5-star, and as you can see right here, bento effect is triggered. The target gains happiness, just period dot, anytime there's breakfast or bento. Super duper powerful. That said, let's take a look at the ranks. So at rank 1, you got on the right here, Crushing Bash, single target attack, 100%, 20% damage, and inflicts vulnerable 2. Nothing wrong with that. My suggestion is the left, which is Mountain Tribes. It's a passive. When the character is unharmed, it increases movement by 1. If the character is attacking from Highland or moves from one tile to another with a height difference of more than 2 tiles, it increases their damage by 20%. That's just my suggestion. Either one of those things work. You grab whatever you like. Neither one of those skills are too important, in my opinion. At rank 3, you've got 2 options here. On the left, you got Potluck Protector. It's a passive. When blocking, damage taken is decreased by 15%. If the character is not dying, it performs assisting cover to all other allies within 2 tiles. So for me, this is a must grab. It's really important. And so as long as she's not dying, she will consistently cover for those around her. And of course, hopefully block 15% of it. Really good. It's a fantastic skill, and this is how she's getting that assistant cover out because it's not a part of her trait. Over here on the right is also a must grab skill, so you need a Castalia for Coco, in my opinion. And so this is Coco's treasure chest, and so it comes with multiple abilities in it, all in one skill. Really good. It's a lot in her kit. First is Springy Bandage. This is the skill. It's instant. It heals an ally for 25% of the caster's HP and can be cast up to 5 times per battle. Next is Ancient Potion. It's a skill. It heals an ally for 45% of the caster's HP and restores 1 energy. Can be cast up to 3 times per battle. 1 energy is really big on that. It's a decent heal, but you're also given an energy. Sometimes you use it just for the energy. Really good. And it's got good range, by the way, too. You can't see it here, but it's got like this is an immediate cast. It's a full square around her, and then Ancient Potion's got a little more range to it than that. Snow Lotus, it's a skill that dispels all debuffs on the target and grants them damage up 3, damage reduction 3, and immune to attribute debuff for 3 turns. Can be cast up to 3 times per battle. And then last is the Hallucinogenic Mushroom. This is a skill that deals piercing damage equal to 30% of the target's HP and inflicts sleep, lasting for 1 turn. Really good there. Afterwards, it inflicts 2 stacks of infection and can be cast up to 3 times per battle. Really good damage in this. Really good ability. It's a must grab. Unique Castalia for her rank 3. Now at rank 5, you've got Defense Ranged Attack. It's a reaction. When hit by a ranged attack, the damage taken is decreased by 25%. I think this is skippable. I think on the right is what you really want, and that's Stay Strong. It's a reaction. After being hit by a single target attack, it heals the character for 1 and 1 other ally with the lowest HP percentage within 2 tiles around the character for 12% of the caster's HP. It can be activated 2 times per round. Moving up to rank 7. On the right, you got Battle Flag of the Velder. And so this is an aura for Velder allies in battle, increases their attack by 10% and defense by 20%. Very standard aura, and passable in my opinion. You want what's on the left, and that is her block enhancement. It's a passive. When receiving a ranged physical attacks from the front or side enemies, there is a 100% chance to trigger block. Block decreases damage taken by 10%. Really decent ability right there. And then at rank 9, I used Castalia. I really wanted to test this and see what it could do with no turning around. However, I can honestly tell you, it disappointed me. I do not suggest picking this up. If you do get it and you enjoy it, nothing wrong with that. Drop down in the comments, let me know. However, I would avoid it. And so this is no turning around. It's a single target attack. Coco deals 100% physical damage. When performing a back attack, there's a 70% chance she'll inflict stun on the target for 1 turn. Can only be triggered once per target per battle. That's the big catch right there, in my opinion. Not being able to do multiple times on the same target makes sense, but man, it ended up not being very useful because there's not very many times where you're hitting with her, and it's only a 70% chance. You'd be surprised how often it doesn't trigger. And then a lot of times in game, most of your opponents, your opponents can't be stunned anyways. It's not there. I would suggest taking Armor Piercing Strike as your basic attack. It deals 100% physical damage and inflicts physical defense 1, magic defense 1 on the target, down that is, lasting for 2 turns. So it's a nice little debuff for a melee attack. However, if you do want to try no turnaround, there's nothing wrong with it. For me, it wasn't there. And then at rank 11, you've got 2 options. On the left is Invulnerable. This is a fantastic ability. It gains damage reduction 4, Mind's Eye, and an immunity to disrupt for 3 turns. And so this is a buff that decreases damage taken by 40%. Activates block once after taking a back attack, Mind's Eye, and then immunity to disrupt means that she'll be able to use her skills, and so on and so forth moving forward. What I would suggest is on the right, and that's the Iron Pot Stew. It's a healing ability. Coco heals all allies within 3 tiles around her for 30% of her HP and grants them crit damage 1 for 2 turns, as well as Bento. And so this is the cornerstone of her abilities, in my opinion. You really want to be able to get this out and buff your team, so that way everybody's getting that happiness trait. That is so important. Her trait, I cannot say enough about it, is really, really good. If you have already seen my video on trait rankings, or you haven't, I'm sorry, go check it out. It's worth your time. Coco is up there. With that said, this is how I normally run her abilities down here with these equipped skills. You got her basic attack, her reaction. I'm almost always got Coco's Treasure on me. Always have Iron Pot Stew, and then I like to use Potluck Protector on the last slot. And of course that's interchangeable. So like if I run her with a Sophia, and I don't want her to cover with that assisting cover over Sophia, I'll run a different ability, whatever's most advantageous. Whether it be block enhancement, mountain tribes. I even picked up, Try the Pan. Picked up this ability and tried it. What I found is this is really difficult to use. It's a little bit niche because of that 3 energy cost. Coco is very demanding. She's got a lot she can do, and she's got a lot she's gonna do, and you're gonna want her to do each turn, and energy is in high demand with her. She's an energy hungry character, and so Try the Pan didn't really do a lot for me, and it wasn't to my liking, but there were certain situations where I could see it being beneficial overall. With that said, let's get right into her weapons. And so for me, I know not a lot of people will agree with this, but I think her best weapon is Hollow Axe. I really like the flat increase on 10% on her defense, and then of course she gains bonus attack equal to 10% of her physical defense and magical defense at start of battle. Nothing wrong with that. That's really not the big focus for me, just that defense really is. It's very consistent. Coming in at number 2 for me, Brutal Axe is a very solid choice. That flat 10% HP increase is phenomenal. When attacking an enemy with HP percentage that is higher than the characters, it ignores 40% of the target's defense. That's decent. But like I said earlier with her skill, there's not too many times where I'm really attacking with Coco, and so it's not really doing a lot for me in that way. And when I am attacking, I prefer to use things like Hallucinogenic Mushroom. There's not a lot of turns in a single battle where I'm attacking with Coco, and when I do, Hallucinogenic Mushroom is what I'm usually going for. And so, yeah, with that said, this is my number 2, Brutal Axe. Very solid choice, getting that HP up. And then the last choice, of course, is Tuning Hammer. And so this increases your physical damage and dispels 2 buffs. before attacking. And of course, giving her the ability to dispel buffs, this could be very beneficial. But as I said before, I personally don't feel like there's too many times I'm attacking with Coco. I just cleared 9 and 5 on tower, and let me tell you, I maybe attacked 1 time with Coco in that whole thing. You know, maybe twice, because I threw out, I think, a couple hallucinogenic shrooms. For the most part, she's healing. And that's the beautiful thing about Coco, is a lot of times she's got a lot of versatility. She's not just a tank, she's a healer, and she's a buffer. And so you're going to be using all of those abilities, and healing, I mean, melee attacking, it's not necessarily what you're going to be doing each turn. Coming in next for the trinkets, it really just depends on the fight you're going into. But for general use and at any given time, I like to run Mystery Guardian. It's got really good stats as far as when attacking from the front. You gain a 25% physical defense, and then you of course can't lose any defensive stats with that no defense attribute debuff block right there. And so whenever she assists, covers, and blocks, or just blocks in general, you're facing your opponent, and then you're getting that bonus 25% physical defense. It's really, really good. Now, if you're going into a boss fight and you know you're going to be taking a lot of magical damage, you know, you've got other options like Rejection Mask and whatnot. But for general use, my number 2 choice will be Cooling Powder. And so, Cooling Powder, you gain immunity to no healing received. Really solid trinket. Consistently make sure that she can heal at any given time. And with her being the tank and taking all that damage, you want her to be able to heal at any given time. It's very important that that happens. And that leads to my number 3 choice for her trinket. And of course, that is Fancy Hat. It gives you immunity to disrupt. It's really big. It's important. And then when healthy, your magic defense is increased by a flat percentage. Of course, mine's at 9%, which makes her more tanky. It's really good. Her being able to use her skills and abilities, I've said it a couple times already, very important. She's going to be doing a whole lot of it, so you want to make sure she can consistently do that, and Fancy Hat's going to give you that. And so, yeah. And of course, there's some other options you can throw on. There's nothing wrong with using a coexist armor. You know, she's not going to be healthy all the time, let's be honest, but there's nothing wrong with that. Put on Evergreen Pendant, she's going to heal all the time. She's going to get lots of health from that. Sir Garbelius recommended Crystal Burst Armor. There's nothing wrong with that. It gives you that flat HP. Really good choice there for that reason. But yeah, I digress. And then for the Tarot Whisper, my number 1 choice in slot is the Hermit. I really like it. It's just a flat minus the damage taken, 20% if you can get the hidden effect. I think it's really good on her. That's the way you should go, in my opinion, is number 1. A lot of people like to use on her, which is my number 2, the Fool's Naivete. And so with that hidden trait, the hidden effect, you're getting a 20% buff to her HP. Really, really good. You want her to have lots of HP and to really do well, but for me, I prefer to mitigate damage taken rather than get more HP to soak the damage, if that makes sense. That's just what I found to work best for me. If you prefer in Fool's Naivete, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's number 2 for me. And then number 3 may surprise people, and I don't really see anyone recommend it, and that is Guidance of the World. Like I told you before, there's only a few turns when you're going to be attacking with Coco, and honestly, there's situations where I'd just rather not. And she's a tank. She's not going to do an incredible amount of damage. She's not going to one-shot, you know, this, that, and the third. She's got moments where she can do decent damage, but in those really intense battles, just take a standby. Just go stand by. Her trait's going to proc. She's going to heal people around her, and then, you know what I mean? She's going to do her thing every turn regardless. But this will give you 1 energy back, and then with that hidden effect, you're going to reduce the cooldown on your abilities, which is really good for that Iron Pot Stew and so on and so forth. So for me, this is what I go with and as my number 3. I really enjoyed using it. And then of course you got those situations, those niche battles where you have certain things to be worried about, like debuffs. I would highly suggest Empress in those battles. Coco is a phenomenal healer. She gets lots of health out. She target those people and turn those debuffs into buffs with this. And then of course the last choice is in respect to that healing as well, and that is the High Priestess. And so this will make her healing more effective, of course, with its skill in hidden effect. So yeah, that's my Coco guide. I hope you enjoy it. Once again, as you saw at the beginning of the video, Lord Garbelius has allowed me to use his guide as a quick post for those that don't want to watch a full video. I hope you enjoy that. Please go drop down in the comment in the description and give him your support. With that said, hope you enjoyed the video. I hope the game is treating you well. I hope things are really great. I'm enjoying the newer content that just dropped and having fun with the game right now. So, yeah, Coco. She's a tank, she's a buffer, and she's a healer. And once you have her, you become addicted. She's like a must-have on any given team. She's really overpowered. Probably one of the most powerful characters in the game because of everything she can do. So, thanks for watching. Hope you have a good one. Take it easy. Bye.